Drag Queen Story Hour.
Absolute wickedness and its perversion.
Chapter 2. The setting, the Spartanburg County Main Library.
You're not going to intervene. This is where you're going to be at.
After a controversial first run of the Five Forks Library in Greenville County, the sequel drew similar protests.
It's an art form. It is an entertainment just like a rock star or a movie star. Same thing.
We're out here to rebuke and preach against this drag queen indoctrination hour.
Drag queen Riley Hunty said the event ran more smoothly this time, and dozens of kids showed up.
Everyone's enjoying themselves. The kids are very interactive. No one's terrified. No one's scared. It's all just dressed up and fun.
These are children that are being targeted by the LGBT for recruitment and indoctrination into their lifestyle.
Protesters argued Drag Queen Story Hour had another agenda.
These children should be at home playing with their toys, watching SpongeBob, not here watching a grown man dressed in women's clothing to tell them that they are not who God created them to be.
You can have people that are experiencing gender dysphoria as accepted behavior. It's just mind-boggling to me.
God teaches us to love everyone. You love your neighbor as you would love yourself. That's your gay neighbor, your straight neighbor, your Christian neighbor, your atheist neighbor, your cross-dressing neighbor, anybody.
It's more than just paint on a wall. It's a message.
Daddy, how come we marching? So I explained to her by asking, if your brother and I wasn't doing anything wrong, and a police officer killed us only because of our color, would that make you mad and sad? And she said, yeah.
It's called One GVL Arts, a mural project to raise awareness around social equity in the upstate.
We're just so moved by everything that's been happening over the past few weeks and, of course, the past months. And we really started brainstorming ways that we could get the word out to the community and provide a platform for local artists to express themselves.
Local poets through Wits End Poetry teamed up with a mural artist, collaborating on poems and images that are painted for free on the side of buildings for any business who wants to be part of the conversation.
You can actually hear and feel what these people feel, because I think that's it, right? Communicating, listening, understanding that your world is not everybody else's world, and that's kind of what makes it awesome.
Screaming till a voice became silent. Black Lives Matter. My mind flashed 10 more years, seeing my 38-year-old daughter still marching, holding a picture of a father, holding a picture of a husband, holding a picture of a son, holding a picture of a brother, hoping y'all get the picture. I'm hoping y'all get the picture. Every week somewhere, somebody loses a brother, loses a father. Somebody right now got a daughter going to bed with a picture of their little brother right beside the pillow, knowing they'll never see him again. We are mad and sad and refuse to be broken.
Greenville artist and poet Moody Black's words now painted in Poe Mill for all to see.
And we are tired, and our shoes ain't got no more souls to give.
It's a group effort to stop a community problem.
This community, full of resources, statistics say that 1 in 5 children will go to bed hungry tonight. And so for our heart of hearts, how do we let that happen to our little children?
And it's not just about filling a physical hunger.
Hunger is really one of the very basic needs that have to be met before a student can ever learn in school.
United Way officials say Buy a Box helps students in the short term and contributes to long-term success.
If they go 2 full days with almost nothing to eat, when they come back to school on Monday, it takes until Tuesday afternoon before they are in the mode of learning.
Days this program and these volunteers are hoping to save.
It's heartbreaking to know that some children actually won't eat all weekend if we don't have something for them.
An anonymous donor has agreed to match each Buy a Box donation up to $25,000. Each box is $40 and can feed 8 kids all weekend. For more information, visit unitedwayofanderson.org. In Anderson County, Paige Hopkins, WYFF News 4.
It's quiet inside the 160-year-old Trinity Episcopal Church.
Construction began in 1859, ended in 1860. November 1860 was the first worship service here.
The historic John Baker Tracker organ, silent for 2 decades.
This is one of 2 of his organs left that we know of in the entire country.
But outside, the steeple is being straightened so renovations can continue.
When George Walker designed this place, that steeple was the tallest structure in South Carolina outside of Charleston and Columbia. And we suspect probably the whole Southeast, 125 foot tall. And it represented the sense of Christian aspiration of looking upward to heaven.
Preservation South Carolina put Trinity Episcopal on their at-risk list for historic sites here in South Carolina. And while they anticipated it would take some time to restore the steeple, they never knew they'd be doing it during a pandemic.
We're trying to stay on top of listening to what the governor say, what the presidents have to say, and just taking everything in consideration and doing the best we can to keep our guys separated, but yet it's still able to work together with the proper PPE.
There's more money to raise to renovate the crumbling stucco, fix the organ, and take the tarps down. The sanctuary won't be finished for Easter, and many may choose to worship at home because of COVID-19. But this small step in a much larger project sends a message of hope this Holy Week.
The steeple going up today and this movement is reminding us that we are in an opportunity during pandemic to rebuild our lives.
In Abbeville, South Carolina, Renee Wunderlich, WYFF News 4.
Life safety is the #1 priority in anything. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic going on or if it's flash flooding.
This week, we could see both. Greenville County Emergency Management is social distancing by monitoring this week's storms remotely. And while roads like Stone Avenue and areas like Cleveland Park often flood during heavy rain, emergency coordinators say they're not exactly sure where water may rise, which is why now they say is the time to have a plan. Stay informed and remember not to drive through any flooded roadways.
If you come across a flooded road, make sure you do not drive or walk through it. You don't know how deep that water is, how fast it's moving, or you don't even know what's in that water, so it's best to turn around and take an alternate route.
Main Street Tattoo is buzzing, and artists are geared up.
I'm extremely excited about us getting back open. Okay, the hardest part of this whole thing was telling my employees that they had to go home and know that they were going to struggle taking care of their kids.
The shop was closed for 6 weeks. At first, they voluntarily shut their doors to keep clients and employees safe, and then the state said all tattoo parlors had to stay closed.
I'm announcing the lifting of restrictions on close contact services.
Until last week.
The main thing that's different is the mask situation. Other than that, I mean, everything we do already is kind of sterile and safe anyway.
You need to call if you don't have an appointment set up. There's a lot of people ignoring the signs on the doors that we put up, about coming in with a mask. So as soon as they get in here, we're providing them. These are already been cleaned up and the pins, and then we have them return them over here, and then we sterilize them individually.
For these professionals, sanitation is essential.
When they said we're not essential, it kind of upset me because I felt like they're essential, and I understand the whole thing of the businesses. I get it. Tattoos is a luxury item to get a tattoo. You don't need a tattoo. But sometimes they tell a story and they're very meaningful to other people.
I enjoy getting tattoos, but it's not just about the process, it's the art, it's a combination of the things. It's nice to be back in the shop because it's a bit of it's like a vacation, but I don't have to go anywhere.
It's kind of weird. Like, it feels good to be working, but at the same time, like, I want to be safe and I want my clients to be safe, so we're doing all we can do. So hopefully it's enough.
Owner Jason Burris is staying positive. He and his staff are going to work as much as they can for as long as they're allowed. He says he's trying to picture what the rest of the year may look like.
The uncertainty that they had during this shutdown, we're scared it might happen again. So they tell us that, as long as we follow these rules, everything's going to go smoothly, but how do we know that? We don't know what's going to happen with this. So the most worrisome part is, how long do we have to make what we can to provide for our families before we get closed down again?
In Greenville, Renee Wunderlich, WYFF News 4.